Alright everybody, welcome to our first game here today and welcome to the draft. We have Kiev5 versus TeamLiquid at the Heroes Battle Arena. And well, we're looking at Khaldor and we have a pretty interesting draft here already. I mean, TeamLiquid is extremely strong these days, we know that. They banned out Abathur, since Abathur of course is very, very strong in Khaldor to give you split experience. His control with the toxic mines on the map are amazing as well. And Kiev5 decided to ban out the Lost Vikings, which is a little bit more unorthodox, but if you're playing against TeamLiquid, then you are of course aware that they are very strong when it comes to just playing the XP game with the Vikings. So therefore Kiev5 with a ban in this case, and pretty much a target ban, not really a ban against the Vikings per se as a hero, but more so against TeamLiquid as a team. And these guys are fast today. I mean, this is like an incredible fast draft that we have. For TeamLiquid, it wasn't really a surprise to see Tyrande being picked here. She is just a very versatile hero and can fit in so many different compositions that it was more or less a given that they would go for it. Kiev5 then countered with Khaldor and Muradin. And well, you can always argue a little bit about if these bans are, or if these picks are the perfect ones here. Khaldor oftentimes ends up on one side and we see Jaina on the other. That was more so true in the past, but it's still like an ongoing theme. But right now, with Khaldor on Cursed Hollow, you have, of course, great zoning control, especially at those bosses and the tributes, with the Phoenix, with the Flame Strike, and also the Chain Bombs after level 13. Muradin is these days, next to ETC, probably one of the most used tanks that we have in the game, and he is just extremely powerful at the front, and he's also part of most of the sniper compositions that exist right now, so in this case, Kiev5 value him highly enough to pick him here. I personally would have probably gone for a bit of a different pick at the beginning, but they decided that they want to run this with the two of them. TeamLiquid then into Uther and ETC, and that already allows a lot of options for them. With an Uther, you can perfectly run a Sonya, you can use that as a stun setup as well. Uther in general, even after the nerfs that we've seen in the recent patch, where the cooldown on his rogue ability was prolonged by another 20 seconds, it's just absolutely strong. And in combination with ETC, what you're trying to do is to use the Mosh Pit together with the Divine Shield and get more or less a guaranteed crowd control skill in. So that's pretty sick. And at this point, we have the bans coming in. Reyna banned out because, well, Kiev5 running already one of these high hit point tanks at the front, so they want to limit the options of TeamLiquid to go into giant killer heroes. The most important ones right now are probably Falstad and Reyna. I personally would think that Kiev5 is maybe even picking the Falstad. At least I would like them to add an auto attack damage dealer to Khaldor, which they already have in their composition. Khaldor and Jaina is oftentimes not really the best way to go with things because you're heavily cooldown reliant. We had Tyrael banned out by TeamLiquid, and that already showcases a bit that they just don't want Kiev5 going up, go in with that sanctification. Because one of the things that you can do when you're running a Tyrande is you're of course trying to just burst down targets. In this case, ETC would go for the initial stun normally, Tyrande would stun, and you have Uther then also with that crowd control chain that you're trying to set up. Tyrael can mess with all of that, and that's why in this case they banned him out. Now, Kiev5 is doing something that I personally find really interesting. They go for Jaina too, and Jaina in general is of course a great hero. I mean, her and Khaldor are two of the best assassins that we have in the game, but you rarely see them in the same composition. There is a bit of a trend that teams try to do that a bit more, but so far not really all that successfully, because Jaina and Khaldor are both cooldown reliant heroes, and you can counter a lot of the damage that they dish out with Spell Shield, which is available on a lot of heroes, and you have of course other things that you can do against that as well. Sanctification, which we're not going to see in this case since Tyrael is banned out, is another very good tool against that. So in this case, Kiev5 playing, in my opinion, a bit of a risk. As I said, I would have loved them to go into a Falstad. We have a Johanna now being played by Kiev5, which is pretty cool for the front line. They could have gone into other heroes that we see these days quite a bit, but a Johanna is very solid and can really disrupt a few things. TeamLiquid with the last two picks, they have really nice options here. They still need damage though. They can play Tyrande with a bit of a damage build, but they should add a bit more. That Falstad comes once again to mind, since he can also steal bosses with a Mighty Gust, and there he is, and I really like that choice. Since the last patch, a few of his talents have been pushed around, and that helps. We've seen a tendency to go into Sylvanas now as well. The problem that TeamLiquid is that they have only one tank at the front line. So they could decide to go into another one, and they could even think to go into a Diablo here. They have other options than that, but we see a return to Diablo and Tyrande a lot, and if you have the damage behind that, then you can, with such a simple move, just stun a target down and really get a whole lot of control during the fights. So that Tyrande and Diablo comp with additional stun and damage is extremely popular. The only question that TeamLiquid has to answer here for themselves is, do we have enough damage with that? Now, Diablo is one of those tanks that adds insane damage out there, and they have Sonya that they could use as well, which they actually do. Diablo, just to come back to that point, is one of the heroes that right now as a tank brings probably the most damage to a team. His problem is more the squishiness that he has against like stun. So not only stuns but also the focus. So normally you see Diablo in a double tank combo. We've seen a few Diablos as solo, but the problem is if you run him as a solo tank, he's oftentimes bursted down. So that's Sonya together with Uther. We've talked about it a bit earlier. Uther now has a Divine Shield on Sonya. He has the potential to use it also on ETC. Two heroes that benefit from that greatly. And he can really do a whole lot of work here, Uther that is, just to assist Sonya and ETC in this setup. Kiev5, they still needed a healer. They did not go into Karazim, which would definitely be an option for them, since we can expect TeamLiquid to try and go for some burst damage. With Tyrande and Sonya, they have two heroes that are able to just like help out with that. Tyrande, of course, with her trait. And we have Sonya with that slam damage that she can bring to the table, which is extremely powerful. For Kiev5, that Brightwing offers mobility on the map, which is incredibly important now, since of course Falstad is going to try and split soak experience. And also Brightwing can, when you go for boss, try to polymorph Falstad just before he uses the Mighty Gust, which is incredibly important if you're trying to sneak one in while your opponent has still all their heroes on the map. The downside on Brightwing is that she won't be really able to do too much against the burst damage that we're seeing here in the game. Karazim is being played right now not only as a healer but also as a damage dealer, just as a side note here, since of course in the last patch his Iron Fist trait was balanced, or like was actually like buffed a whole lot with 25%. So overall, a pretty solid draft here for both teams. I would still give the edge to TeamLiquid. I really like the setup that they're running here. I'm not a massive fan of Jaina and Kalthas in the same combo, since I feel there's too many things you can do against that. But we're going to find out in our first game which team is going to take the lead here. Welcome everybody to our first game. The map has started and it is Cursed Hollow. And to the left side we have TeamLiquid. They're going up against Kiev5 today. And as you can see here, we have Vortex on Tyrande, we have Chris on Falstad, Gedamherd on Uther, and Lucifron on ETC, and Lowell on Sonya. To the right side of the map with the double mage assassins, we have Kiev5 playing Hydra on Muradin. Sphyxie is on Jaina today. Sir Ice Cream, the man with the best nickname on Battle.net, has Johanna. We have AR on Kalthas, and Brightwing played by Lunan. The surprising thing for me is actually that they decided to go into a Jaina here or Kalthas for AR. I really suspected that they would try and run with Falstad themselves, Kiev5 that is, because they have played AR on Falstad so many times and he got actually buffed in the last patch. You can now easily go for Seasoned Marksman as a level 1 talent, because Power Throw is now a level 4 talent in the newest patch. For a good old Falstad, who was by the way played by Chris down at the bot lane. So you can get access to all the talents that you want to play anyways, and add the Seasoned Marksman too on top of that, which is pretty cool. So Falstad is currently one of the fastest picked assassins in the game. Some teams went so far as to go for a first pick on him. Haven't seen that in our current draft here, but it is definitely a bit of a theme these days. So now going into the rest of the talents, just like talking a bit about the game in general. We already went, of course, over all of the compositions that are being played here. But you can see that Tyrande is playing things again with an Owl build. So we have on level 1 Empower taken by Vortex, and they need a bit of additional range damage. They could play without it, but in this case they would have to rely on Falstad and Sonya a bit more than they probably like to. So we have them right now with Owl. They go into then Pierce, and Pierce in general on Cursed Hollow is an amazing talent. We've been going over it in the past. It's great if you want to just cancel out tribute channels of your opponent, and it's an incredible annoying talent for the opponent's team. You can really tell, by the way, how Kiev5 is fully aware that that ETC and Tyrande comp is going to be somewhere on the map trying to wreak havoc, because they're playing super passive down here. So we saw Vortex and also ETC just like standing in that bush there waiting for an opportunity, but everybody else is just like hugging the bottom of the map, making sure that they're not being attacked here. I'm really liking the way that Kiev5 plays this. They are of course the underdog going into this, but right now it's a pretty fun setup that we are seeing here for them. So I'm already a fan that they did not overextend here and that they don't fall easy prey or easy victim to their opponents. When we're talking talents on their part, nothing really out of the ordinary. We have still Jaina with the Conjurer's Pursuit here. She will most likely head then later on into that Snowstorm on level 4. As predicted, it is Pierce on level 4 for Tyrande, and we're seeing the Power Throw now taken on the side of Falstad, comboing that of course with the Seasoned Marksman. Full auto attack, that's really what Falstad wants to do here. And ETC went into the Power Slide talent. Now he's in this case a full tank more or less. He has of course Sonya at his side, but Sonya is, well, she's classified as a warrior, but not really used as a warrior. It's more like a bruiser, melee assassin type of play that we see with her. So that's what's currently being run here. ETC will be like the one who's just like trying to set that mosh pit up and of course get the power slides in, at least in the mid game after we have the level 10 abilities. So for now, we also have the Eternal Retaliation taken, cooldown reduction for Johanna. And that's going to be very interesting because I want to know if we have Conviction on 7 or Battle Momentum, even more cooldown reduction to spam Condemn out during the fights, or just that extra speed that can be so helpful in these battles. At this point, we're having the fight, of course, for the first tribute as well, and we even see a bit of a level advantage on the side of Hydra and his boys. Kiev5 are in a good spot here. Nice gravity lapse, I like it. Even amplified by the Vedan Spheres, hitting both of these heroes and helping Hydra to escape. Muradin was quite low, is currently waiting for his trait to activate and will get a lot of hit points back, not only because of that, but also because Lunan is ready. We still saw in the mid lane though, Sonya go for a bit of an additional experience, and oh, Lucifron and Vortex missed the opportunity to cancel the channel. So the first tribute in the game here at the Heroes Battle Arena goes straight to Kiev5. We still see Lowell in the mid lane, and he has already been a bad boy. I mean, he took down one of the towers nearly completely, both of them out of ammunition, so that's a wall that will fall eventually. Hydra has to jump, and he does it a bit late, but he should be able to get away. Yes, and just barely retreats. But that was pretty close. Even as one of the high hit point tanks, he definitely feels it when not only Tyrande but also Sonya goes straight for him. And there's the battle momentum taken for Tyrande, so also the reduction in cooldown makes the Owl even more annoying and helps her to get the heals out, because let's not forget, we have her plus Uther here as supports, which is actually pretty cool to have the sustain on the team. Secret Weapon on Falset is still the standard level 7 talent if you're trying to go into an auto-attack build. And we have now the Just Keep Rocking taken on the side of ETC with a ferocious healing for Sonya to give her some self-sustain during all of these fights. Our question has also been answered. It is Conviction here for Johanna, making her a bit mobile in these fights and not Battle Momentum, which would have decreased the cooldown on Condemn and her other abilities even more. Of course, the Vision Bomb for Khaldor, I mean, that was a bit of a no-brainer. There's no other level 7 talent that's currently taken these days. And we have the Phase Shield for Lunan on Brightwing. Oh, and an attack against, up at the top lane, Uther, who heals himself, but gets some hits full in the face and goes down eventually. Great start here by Kiev5. Look at those guys. They are doing really well. Vortex might actually die too, and yes, he will. It's a double kill for Kiev5. We had Sonya still in the mid lane and also Falsa down to the bot lane. So I don't really feel it was the intent of TeamLiquid to really go for the tribute. They probably just decided at some point, well, let's soak the experience and leave it to them. They did not really plan on losing 2 heroes though, and that definitely made it not worth it. Now they're behind 2 tributes, have to fight for the third one, and well, they might fall behind in talents because that level 10 ability is going to become a bit of an issue for them. To the top lane, so Ice Cream is pushing this wall in pretty effectively, takes the tower down, and you can already tell up at the top that level 10 is going to be ready for Kiev5 in just a few seconds, which is going to give them an incredible advantage. I'm a little bit doubtful if they will be able to maintain that until we have the tribute on the map. But they still will be able to push even a bit harder at this point, maybe take a camp. But the tribute is actually there. But TeamLiquid looks like they will get level 10 just in time. They need to rotate over. And if they lose Lucifron before all of that happens, then of course it would be a disaster for them. We have no talent taken yet on Jaina, and she can go into Water Elemental or Ring of Frost. Both of them would be absolutely viable in this case. So a late choice on Jaina's heroic ability. Here comes that owl that we've been talking about earlier. But now it's also time for the level 10s on the side of TeamLiquid, and they go in with a Mighty Gust, already pushing everybody away. Get here is trying to go in. And we have Lucifron with a threat of a mosh pit. Wrath of the Berserker has already been used. And we see Shadowstalk also in play. Has been utilized already. Here comes the Divine Shield mosh pit combo against 4 heroes. And TeamLiquid with the immediate snipe against Khaldor. At the same time, we see Tyrande going really low in the backline. And Hydra is jumping in, but he gets stunned by the Lunar Flare. We have ETC using the power slide again. And the kill against Muradin. It's a 2-4-0 against Kiev5. And they are on the run as we see the channel happening at the tribute. Great play here by TeamLiquid. Very well done. They're even in kills now, and they took a slight lead in experience and moved immediately towards the boss. It's one of the strengths that we have with TeamLiquid in general, that their shot calling is usually pretty good. They have a few things in the last games that they play, that Trackbite Masters, and also here at the Battle Arena, where you could really see that it's not really like perfect. They make sometimes decisions that in hindsight are not the ideal choice, but in general they have pretty solid ways of exploiting an advantage that they have. And they get that boss now, and together with that curse or with the tribute that they just took, it offers a lot of opportunities for them to take now additional camps on the map. And that's where we are seeing Lowell. He's busy at one of the Siege Giant camps, and it's just like that map control that they gained. At this point, Brightwing is actually moving to the top, double-checking if the second boss is being attacked, which is not happening here. But you can tell how the rest of the team is down to the bot lane, attempting to make sure that the boss is not going to get too many structures. But the rest of the map belongs to TeamLiquid, and that is something that they use to take more camps, to also start to move in. Are they going to go for boss? Yeah, they are trying to snipe it. They are trying to snipe the boss, as at the bot lane we see AR, Sphyxy and Hydra just now move up to the top. So TeamLiquid figured that they have enough time to deal with it before they are up to the top lane. And it looks like they will be able to make that work. But they really need to rush this right now because they don't have a lot of time. And they are on the point. So Ice Cream is blown away. Mighty Gust was perfect. The boss taken. But here comes the fight. TeamLiquid might still lose this one. Chris is very low, but the kill against Jaina offers them an advantage in the fight. So Ice Cream with Condemn and Conviction, but it looks like Johanna, yes, she falls. And TeamLiquid, they turn it around again. They go for Hydra. And Chris with the Divine Shield can now go full ham against Muradin. And he will get that kill, yes. Vortex attempting to take it too. So well played here by TeamLiquid once again. That was a very clutch moment though. I mean, that boss was just like taking the last second. But look at this top lane now. A Siege Giant camp together with a boss, so a lot of pushing power. We even see Chris fly down to the bot lane since he realized if he doesn't do it, then maybe there is a Brightwing trying to sneak that away. That would have cursed TeamLiquid, of course, and taken a lot of the pressure that they put against their opponent away again. Great move by him, therefore. And with the level 13 talents, we are seeing them now with an Overflowing Light. Of course, the Seasoned Marksman build Falstad goes straight into Giant Killer to put even more pressure onto Muradin and Johanna. And we're having Shrink Ray taken for Uther with the groupies on levels 13 now for ETC and the Mystical Spear. Level 13 is also ready, of course, for the opponent's team. Kiev5 still with their 2 kills, but they lost 3 heroes in the last fight, meaning that in total we have now a 2 versus 3 in kills. They go for Hold Your Ground, which will make it a little bit easier for Johanna to survive in these fights, as you can see. That shield is super important. And we're also having now the Chain Bomb available. So the problem that they still have is that in those fights, when they applied all of the spells and abilities that Jaina and Kel'Thas offer, then it's a big problem for them to really get the damage in the meantime, since they are on cooldown. That's one of the biggest disadvantages of running this setup, and of course that Spell Shield can counter out that quite easily. No spell shields taken, by the way. You can really tell that TeamLiquid doesn't even respect that setup. They go in right now and wait for another attempt to go over the mosh pit. And the last one, I mean, we saw a perfect Divine Shield mosh pit already, hitting 4 heroes, which was absolutely amazing. And right now they're starting to jump in again. The Phoenix already in play. And we're seeing now, of course, also again Falstad trying to go straight for Muradin. ETC moves in and Divine Shield mosh pit is there. Mighty Gust even pushing a few more heroes into the mosh pit. I've never seen that in this particular setup. Great double stunner also against Hydra, and so Ice Cream, and once again A on the backline is trying to get some damage in with the chain bombs, but Lowell is attempting to go for Hydra, and so is Chris. Both of them are a bit short though, so Hydra gets away, but it's still a double kill. Jaina and Brightwing are down and they want more. They go in for Ice Cream again. Lowell takes him down together with Vortex and Lucifer. A very solid play here again by TeamLiquid, and now the curse against the red team. They blow up Kel'Thas too. They don't even have to deal with the fort. I love moves like this. They go straight for the wall because they're saying, why waste time? We go in, we take the keep while we can. Let's just burst through the wall. Our minions are going to deal with the rest later on. We can take that on the way back. They still have a couple of heroes down, so let's take the keep first, and we can take care of everything else on our way back. And that's what they do. Level 16, we have now also Ranger taken for Tyrande for the extra damage. We are seeing, of course, the hammer time here for Falstad. Benediction Speed Metal for the extra speed and the No Escape. Now, we have Sonya with No Escape, which gives her, of course, even more speed. Then we have the Speed Metal taken. Like, she can just run around like crazy now. It would have been funny if Tyrande would have gone for that speed heal. I mean, there's an ability on Tyrande where if you heal someone with your Overflowing Light, or with the Light of a Loon, then you get even a speed bonus. If they would have taken that as well for Sonya, then she would have been all over that map within seconds, but it's already incredibly dangerous as is to Kiev5. And they're of course now looking for a chance to hit the level 16 talent and maybe defend here. But TeamLiquid is in full control of the game thus far. Once again, we're seeing everybody moving in. Here come the abilities. Phoenix already used. In comes Lucifron. Slides in, stuns out Muradin, and they get the kill in with all the burst damage that they can muster. Once more, it's a fort that TeamLiquid is trying to take down. They lost the first 2 heroes in the game, but they really turned around. And again, the Divine Mosh Pit is there. A lot of damage against Chris, but Kel'Thas and Muradin and Jaina are both dead. All 3 of them, actually. And now it's an opportunity even to go for core. The keep is going to fall for sure. How aggressive is TeamLiquid going to play this? Yes, they go for the core right now. They want to take this down, and they're already starting to move in here. So in this case, we're seeing them just like going full ham. So Ice Cream is completely isolated and goes down. Luna attempting to keep everybody alive. Good luck with that. Hydra is back though, and it looks like TeamLiquid might have to back off for now. They took 2 of the keeps, but they're still trying to go for the core. There's another 4 seconds until Kel'Thas is back, but TeamLiquid with the snipe attempts, they're starting to go in, and they really hammer that thing into the ground. Mighty Gus being used, and TeamLiquid fully dedicated to the snipe, and it looks like they're going to get that kill easily. Even with Jaina and Kel'Thas back, game number 1 ends up in favor of TeamLiquid. Great play here by them, very well played, and GG. Alright everybody, welcome to the second game, game number 2. We have Kiev5 going up against TeamLiquid. Once again, the draft has already started, as you can see. Currently TeamLiquid is in the lead with a 1-0. As you can tell right now, we have a first ban on Uther. And Uther of course banned out because Kiev5 want to make sure that there's not this ETC plus Uther composition again. And not only that, but Uther is very good with the Sonya and other heroes here as well that could really screw with Team Kiev5's setup. On the other hand, TeamLiquid banning out Tyrande. They are not first pick this time. They picked Tyrande last time immediately, and they want to avoid that Kiev5 can use her for a similar composition with all these snipes. Kiev5 reacting with that Kel'Thas again. They really value that hero highly, and for good reason. He is very strong. And TeamLiquid counters with a Muradin Jaina. Now that setup that they're already having, even without a Tyrande, is pretty cool if you are trying to get some damage in. Jaina dishes out a lot of damage with the Cone of Cold, her Ice Lance, and also of course the Blizzard. And ideally you try to get both of these Blizzard waves in, and for that to happen you need to try and stun out the target. ETC can help with that, TeamLiquid has shown that already. But Muradin is a little bit more old school when it comes to this, so they are trying to do exactly that right now. And as we already talked about in the first draft, Muradin is just like very solid in general because he is a frontliner that can escape. He has a high hit point pool, he has a stun, he's pretty awesome here. Kiev5 is reacting against this, and they take ETC away immediately. They're saying like, alright, ETC is ours. We are not going to allow you to pick both. And Kiev5, of course, has to also think about the next 2 bans. They are the ones who can ban now heroes out that they do not want TeamLiquid to get, but they have another pick here. And another damage dealer is something that they could use, or they value the support so highly at this point that they're saying we take one. And it is Tacita indeed for them. So Tacita is someone that we haven't really seen in the last draft, which was actually kind of interesting, since Tacita is oftentimes chosen together with the Sonya, who, by the way, didn't get picked yet. So we could see TeamLiquid with the Sonya again. It depends a bit on Kiev5. If they want to ban Sonya out, they should definitely do that, and I think the Sonya ban would be very strong. Sonya plus Muradin can jump into the backline quite easily, and you have Jaina and Sonya for damage that can be super devastating. On Dragonshire, we normally see, well, we usually don't see too many like Vikings and Abathurs on Dragonshire, at least in the European scene. TeamLiquid is banning Tyrael out again for very much the same reason. They want to make sure that any kind of burst attempts are not completely negated by Tyrael, and Tyrael in general is just super strong with the Sanctification, and of course occasionally we're even seeing the hero with Judgment and even the Sylvanas on the other side of the deck. You can go at Judgment plus Wailing Arrow and try to snipe a target. So Kiev5 has to think about their ban, and as I said, Sonya is a chance that they ban out Sonya here. If they don't ban Sonya, they should probably try and ban out other damage dealers. There's the Sonya ban, and I like it. Another opportunity would have been a false step, because I personally believe that TeamLiquid would do really well with an additional false step here. They can also decide to go into their own healer. And keep in mind what I said earlier, that Karazim can be played as a bit of a melee assassin now with the Iron Fist instead of Transcendence on level 1, since we had in the last patch a change to the talent itself. And TeamLiquid has already showcased that. And still, even in a position where as a Karazim you do damage, you still have some healing power. You normally want to substitute that with an additional healer, or at least like a utility support. but it's still something that is extremely strong. So that's another path that Team Liquid can take. In general, right now, drafting is super fun because there's so many different ways of what the teams can do that it's basically impossible to tell what would be or what's the way that they play this. But as I said, I feel on Dragonshy in particular, having a Falstad or a Brightwing or both is very strong because you can have the additional jump between the lanes, and if you are trying to just like play around an opponent that is a talent ahead, it helps to have that mobility on the map to steal a shrine away, deny a Dragon Knight, and the same is of course also true when you are yourself in position where you are trying to get it. They go for Sylvanas now first, and Sylvanas has made a comeback. She's back in the game, she's back in the meta, and she's always just like trying to go in and of course push hard when you have the advantage, and that Wailing Arrow in general can, when it hits perfectly, just do so much work. If your opponent is silenced, then you have an opportunity to go in and take them down, and there is Charism already taken. And of course, Charism can be played as full heal, or they can decide to pick another healer and play Charism as a melee assassin style. And that's now an amazing, amazing chance for Team Liquid, because that means that they are super flexible to what Kiev5 is now going to do. It's amazing for them. If Kiev5 plays a setup where they're saying, alright, we are set, we're going to take another healer and we're going to go damage Charism, they can do that. If they realize that they need something else, a little bit more damage, another frontliner, they can also just like simply switch things around, play Charism full heal, and add something else to the composition. Kiev5 now, go for Reyna. I like him a lot. His zoning abilities with Hyperion are strong. Now their choice, do they play Tassadar solo or do they add an additional heal? Personally, I would probably add a Brightwing at this point. I believe that Brightwing can be very, very strong on the map. I've already been going over the reasons a little bit, and I think Tassadar plus Brightwing is pretty solid. They could, of course, go for different things. There is a Falstad still available. Keep that in mind. Falstad has the mobility, he has the single target damage, and he can be very, very strong. And of course, that Mighty Gust is also giving a lot of utility to the team in general. So these are the options that they probably think about right now. And Team Liquid have to counterplay that then, once that they know what exactly is going on here on the map. Of course, it's also a bit of a burden for Kiev5 now that they're down one game in the best of 3 series. I mean, at this point, you need to win on Dragonshire or you're kind of screwed. So Reyna is going to be the big damage dealer next to Kel'Thas, and especially in the earlier stage where Kel'Thas doesn't have the chain bombs. But then later on, he will be relying on Seasoned Marksman. Unless, of course, he goes for Give Me More on level 1. If they feel that Reyna is going to be attacked early on and burst it down, then Give Me More can be really nice. Just keep him alive a bit longer. And thinking about it, they actually have a lot of things that keep these heroes alive, so Seasoned Marksman would probably be something that you can go for. As expected, they go for Brightwing, and Team Liquid now, they have the opportunity to either go into a Falstad and say full damage, or they add another support and say, hey, we go damage Charism with those Iron Fists. It worked for them extremely well when they played in other tournaments. They use Charism as a melee assassin, and one of the big advantages that Charism has as a melee assassin type is that he has on level 13 Relentless, which no other melee assassin has. And that's amazing if your opponent is going to try and lock you down with stuns. So that's something that Team Liquid can try and do. And it's actually kind of fun to like wait what they are going to decide to do, because if they want to go into a healer, we could see a Malfurion here. He's oftentimes picked against the Kel'Thas. If they want to go into more damage and play Charism as a solo heal, then Falstad is very likely, since it also gives you a bit of counterplay. But it's a Rexa that they go for. God, I'm loving it. You can use Misha to capture these shrines, of course, and you can also with Rexa just like get the camps on the map. Something that I personally did not expect here now. Rexa is still quite rare when we're talking about the European scene. You see him every now and then, but that we actually have him here now, that's something that I personally didn't expect. So I'm kind of liking this already. This is going to be a fun second map between Kiev5 and Team Liquid. Game on! Map number 2 is Dragonshire, and to the left side of the map we see Vortex on Rexa for Team Liquid. They are in the lead with the 1-0, as you can also see up at the top. And we have a quick pause here, but well, let's go over this real quick. We have Lowell on Sylvanas, we see Lucifron on Muradin, and we have Jaina played by Chris, whereas Charism is currently played by Get Amherd. So they have a pretty solid setup in this case, and of course Kiev5, they need to win 2 in a row now. To the right side of the map, we are currently seeing Hydra on Tassadar, we have Sphyxie on Reyna, so Ice Cream on ETC, Lunan on Brightwing, and AR on Kel'Thas again. Interestingly enough, we did not see Falstad chosen on this map, not even as a counter to Brightwing. I was actually expecting that Team Liquid might pick Falstad, and instead they went for Rexa, which is actually kind of interesting because Rexa with Misha can of course like take these shrines alone, and therefore get control over the Dragon Knight. Well, not Misha herself, but yeah, you know what I mean. Get at least like a bit of a, like the new way that the hero is being handled, or Misha at least, is kind of interesting, and that's something that they're going to try to put to some use here. But as is, we have TeamLiquid in the lead. They have a very solid setup, double tank, double damage, and then also, of course, a single healer. And keep in mind that Lowell, especially on his Sylvanas, will be able to just like push this in really hard if he gets an opportunity to push with the Dragon Knight and disable these structures. So there's definitely a cool setup for them. And we have also the setup here with 3 heroes in the middle. Everybody is ready again, so we're good to go. And we have on level 1 already the adjustment on Lowell not going into barbed shot or with the wind, but instead we are having him with a Lost Soul to reduce the Shadow Dagger cooldown by 2 seconds. And that's, I've been talking about this in the last few games a bit, but I want to highlight it again. If you look at the North American scene, for example, Sylvanas is being played as well, quite a bit. And normally when you see her, it's Barbed Shot on level 1, a talent that I personally really love. I think it's absolutely amazing. In the European scene, it's not really picked too often these days, but it's definitely something that in North America is extremely popular. Karazim is going for Transcendence, highlighting it here because we have seen more Iron Fist play on Karazim, but normally not when you are in the game as the only support. Already a bit of a brawl there happening, Brightwing moving to the top lane, but look at that! There's, oh, Aya goes down, the focus against Keltas, the hate against the Fire Mage, and it looks like Sir Ice Cream might die as well. He's waiting for the cooldown on power side. Lowell, we're looking for the body blocks, and he is able to pull that off. So it's an easy double kill here for TeamLiquid, and that is definitely not the start that Kiev5 was hoping for. Then again, we had Kiev5 in the last game getting 2 kills early on, and TeamLiquid turned that around quite easily. So, yeah, let's see if that's going to repeat itself, or if we in this case have TeamLiquid just dominating from start to finish. We see on level 1 the Grizzled Bear taken for TeamLiquid, for Rexa, and having that Rexa in play is just absolutely cool. I really like it. We're seeing to the top lane at this point already Vortex with Misha trying to, like, yep, that's exactly what I've been talking about, trying to capture the shrine. Misha can easily move in. Decided against it. Bad Misha. Vortex is having some trouble here. Misha apparently not really willing to listen, but now the shrine is under control of TeamLiquid. Seasoned Marksman as the level 1 talent on Reyna, so he wants to go for the extra damage. But TeamLiquid already with the control of both of these shrines. ETC is in the mid lane though to deny the Dragon Knight to his opponent. But we have everybody else down here to the bot lane where Get Amherd is already starting to move in again. And is not going to be able to hold this shrine, not against 3, so he's already moving back. The Dragon Knight has still been captured because Ice Cream had to move away against the 3 players that rotated into the mid lane. And now we have that setup where Lowell can just like disable the towers and make sure that Chris is getting more damage in with his Dragon Knight here. Pretty cool. Level 4 talent, the Taking Flight, has now been chosen on the side of Rexa. We are seeing the Arcane Intellect for Jaina, which is actually super interesting. We've been talking a lot about Jaina recently. You can go into so many different talents on her part. Mana management is usually a big topic, and most players go for Conjurer's Pursuit and then take the increased radius on the Blizzard with Snowstorm on level 4. But here we have now Arcane Intellect taken, and that's because the Lingering Chill has been chosen. Deep Chill, by the way, is not chosen as often anymore on level 1. It was one of the most standard talents for Jaina, but it has been nerfed in the recent patch, so it only does 5% extra slow, and that's of course, well, not really something that's too appealing to the players. So they have started to shift around a bit and go into the Lingering Chill. And you cannot play with the Ice Lance on level 7. That's still something that is up to personal preference. But if you hit those Ice Lances really well, then it can help you to just like kite opponents, and you will get a lot of damage out of it if you are really good on Jaina. Talking damage, we have Kelthas blown to pieces at the bot lane. Sphyxie and Hydra were a bit too late to help him out here. So it's 3 kills against 0 already. And there is Ice Lance as already theorized. We're seeing also now on level 7 the Bird of Prey taken for the extra damage. That talent is just like so awesome if you're trying to like burst down a mercenary camp, if you go for a bit of wave clear. And it was even stronger in the past when you did plus 300% damage instead of the plus 200 that we have right now. Oh, it looks like Tassadar is in a bit of trouble, and yeah, that trouble is also translated into death, since he's not able to dodge that second Blizzard wave, and down he goes. 4 kills against 0, and TeamLiquid with a very dominant performance now. Up to the top lane, Vortex was able to go through both of those towers with the help of a few of his allies. Keep that experience lead also in mind. I mean, we are talking kills here, we're talking a bit about structures, but all of that translates into level 8 versus level 6, 7. They don't have the talent yet. There it is finally. But that's, of course, a lot of pressure on Kiev5. And Kiev5 is a strong team. They're not a pushover team by any means, but they haven't really made that jump into the top 4 in Europe yet. They're still trying to get better here, trying to improve. And right now, we see them realizing again that they have to make sure that Tacita is also adding some sustain. That's why Kala's Embrace is one of the talents that they chose at level 7 to make sure that their preload on the shields is going to help them keeping these heroes alive. But TeamLiquid is again running with the advantages that they have and is starting to push in these lanes hard. It's also time for the second Dragon Knight, and that's where Misha already takes a shrine. Bad Misha. Stay on the shrine. There we go. Takes it, and we have Lucifron and Lowell in the mid lane. Currently trying to get this one. Oh, but Lowell is so low, and he goes down. That chain bomb blows him to pieces. Well, at least the vision bomb. The chain bomb talent, of course, not going to be available until level 13, but that was extremely powerful here. So right now we have Chris and Gedam here down to the bot lane, capturing the shrine again and securing it as well. Whereas in the mid lane, everybody on the side of TeamLiquid is apparently trying to make a bit of an experience to force, yes, Kiev5 back. Chris is going straight for the Dragon Knight. He's pretty selfish in that case. Yeah, and he takes it. Takes the second one now as well. Very well done. So they have the opportunity to take a few of the forts down. They haven't really killed them yet, but look at that level 10 also. They're gonna get that too with a Dragon Knight, and that is of course an incredible advantage. I mean, there's already the Bestial Wrath. We have them with great heroic abilities. Wailing Arrow can just like wreck an entire team if you hit it well. And we have also the survivability for Muradin and others. Misha taking out here. Wow, that was mean. So Misha, the first victim in this game, if you so want. But at this point, we're having everybody just like starting to go straight into the mid lane. Brightwing is soaking experience at the top, and so she should. Yeah, Brightwing definitely has to try and get them level 10, but that of course also means that they are lacking a healer here. Brightwing doing whatever possible. Lunan is going for the XP, but the first fort is down, and the second one is also going to fall. They go straight for it, and even with the shield, they shouldn't be able to take. But Lucifron gets blown to bits. Wow, didn't even get a chance to use his heroic ability. He was trying to, and the fort therefore survives. Great job on the side of Kiev5. That was actually very well done. They take an opportunity and jump in and lock down Muradin so hard that he doesn't even get a second to activate Avatar. Very well done here. And that, of course, gives them quite a bit of experience since they are running the underdog bonus at this point. We have Force Wall taken as the heroic ability on Tacita. We see Blink Kill, Phoenix, Mosh Pit, and Hyperion. So now may be a time when we could see a bit of action on the side of Kiev5. I mean, oftentimes in Heroes of the Storm, you will end up with a composition that is a bit weaker in the earlier stages of the game. And when we're talking early game, we are usually referring to level 1 until level 10, since on level 10 you get the heroic abilities. So in the mid game, when the heroic abilities are in play, we sometimes see teams just explode that up to now, or up to then, were completely dominated by the opponent. So this is going to be an attempt by Kiev5 to use that Mosh Pit effectively. Keep in mind that there's, of course, a couple of talents and also heroes that can interrupt that Mosh Pit. We're talking mainly Muradin here, but we also have the Wailing Arrow on Sylvanas. And if you get Misha in, then you can do something with that as well. But for now, already the attempt up at the top lane to take down another structure, and they jump deep against Khaldor. Poor guy. Even the Wailing Arrow was used, and he is down. Brightwing jumped away, but Khaldor is dying again. He's becoming the punching bag of TeamLiquid. He already died, I think, 3 or 4 times against them. They always go for him, and I mean, they should. He's really weak in hit points, and he's one of the primary targets, since, of course, he also dishes out a lot of damage, and you want to make sure that he's not going to be part of the equation for too long. We have level 13 talents, and that gives us the Evasive Fire on Sylvanas. Again, the shrines are going to activate in a few seconds, and TeamLiquid rotates to the top and bot lane immediately. We have them now with the improved Ice Block on Jaina, already in the mid lane, this time Vortex, who is going to take the Dragon Knight. Misha is merging with him, so it's always kind of interesting. I imagine with that like that Dragon Knight with Misha next to him, a Dragon Misha or something like that. It would be cool if Misha just simply transforms as well. You know, it's not only the Dragon Knight hero, but it's also the Dragon Knight bear. That would be even better. Blizzard, food for thought. And we're having Relentless, of course, for Karazhan, who went on level 7 into the Echo of Heaven. Pretty standard build here for Karazhan. On level 16 we can look if he's going for the Soothing Breeze or if he's going for the Circle of Life. But considering the heroes that he's up against, Circle of Life is very, very likely. Again, 13 versus 13, but TeamLiquid aims for the first keep of the game. They're already trying to go straight in, and Vortex might lose that Dragonite. Ah, man. At this point, we're having Lucifron with the Divine Palm. Not even activated! Look at that! Yeah, just jumping in with the Divine Palm because he saw that Lucifron was affected by the chain bombs and was thinking that he would get blown into bits, but then not even triggered, and therefore Lucifron has to be healed up again. But his trade on Muradin, of course, helps him, so he just needs to stay out of the fight a bit. The keep in the mid lane has survived, though. Kiev5 was not able to take that down, and they have now Giant Killer, Groupies, and the Chain Bomb. That's the chance that they have for fighting here, but they are a bit caught out of guard. The triple silent hitting as the Wailing Arrow moves in, and once again we're seeing Tassadar in a lot of trouble. He's already mushing away. Moshpit hits, but Reina is down, so Ice Cream doesn't lock them down long enough. He's attempting to move back. Force Wall is covering the retreat on the side of Kiev5, but the Ice Cream is isolated and taken down, and now the hammer hits Brightwing. Lunan with a blink heal jumps away, but Vortex is up at the front with Misha not going for any kind of stuns. Again, Sylvanas comes into play with that trade, disabling the keep, and TeamLiquid is just looking so solid here. A very scary performance by TeamLiquid. These guys get better every single day, and it's just incredible of what kind of plays they can throw at the opponent. Level 16 talents for them are crucial, of course. We're seeing now finally the Cold Embrace for Lowell with his Sylvanas. That combos so well with the Lost Soul on level 1. And it is, as expected, a Circle of Life. With now the Critical Care taken on level 16. Who needs Feign Death? Instead, it's the additional heal. Oh, and that's actually like pretty awesome to see that. I like it. It just shows that Vortex is a very kind person and cares for Misha. And I say it and he lets her die. Like, Vortex, seriously? Making me look bad? Did you have to do that? But yeah. So under normal circumstances, you could say that he is really someone who likes pets. I'm pretty sure they have a dog or something. But yeah, no Feign Death for him, so he's playing it straight up here. Wildfire Bear, by the way, has been taken level 13. It's the same. Well, it's basically just like Burning Rage for Misha. That's what happens. That's also why it has the same icon here. Giving you a bit of an idea of what's currently going on when we're like talking about like the damage in general and siege damage here. 0.5 deaths on Rexa. That's of course the 2 Mishas that have been taken down over the course of the game. And the Dragon Knight is up again, and this time it seems like Kiev5 is gonna fight for it, and Vortex is taken down. Rexa is dead. So, yep, that's a full kill against him. But the rest of TeamLiquid took the opportunity to move down to the bot lane and are starting to jump in against that keep, and that's a problem. Now everybody on the side of Kiev5 already TPs back with a quick B. The problem for them, of course, is that they also now neglect the top lane again, where we see Muradin immediately moving over. So they want to catch one of these shrines while the rest of the team is controlling the mid lane, I suppose. Level 16, on the other hand, is now ready for the opponent's team. And Kiev5 doesn't even go for... Okay, they have to move in now. They see Muradin at the top. They have to go into the mid lane or at the bot lane and make sure that there's not an additional Dragon Knight. There's already the attempt, but yeah, it's 3 heroes down to the bot lane. We're seeing still roaming around. The Rexa is dead for another second. He's going to be back. Greater Polymorph has been chosen. The Bullseye. We see the Dimensional Warp after Prescience. Pretty standard build on Tassadar thus far. But in the mid lane, again, the attempt to go straight for Sir Ice Cream. Mosh Pit dodged by the ice. Oh, by the ice block for a second. And Lowell gets healed thanks to the Divine Palm. The blow up against ETC against Tassadar. Oh my god, TeamLiquid. They lose Sylvanas though, and Chris is healed by Gerd as he jumps in. Great heals on the side of Gerd. But Kiev5, they lose Spixie. Reina is down, and immediately the turnaround against also Tassadar, and they blow Brightwing up. Oh my god, there's no escape. AR with the Arcane Barrier is trying to keep himself alive a bit longer. Got a shield from Tassadar too, but now we have Vortex going for Hydra, who might actually escape, but not so Kel'Thas. Oh, Lucifron jumps on his head with Muradin and a dwarf to the head. That is a sure kill right there. Already the attempt to go for core. 13 minutes in, Team Liquid is very eager to end this game, and they will be able to do that. It's a 5 or 4 versus 2, and the Dragonite alone is dishing out so much damage. Chris is literally on fire here. He is just hammering that down, and that's the GG as Team Liquid takes the first best of 3 here today at the Heroes Battle Arena with a 2-0 against Kiev5. Alright everybody, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope that you enjoyed the commentary and also the game. If you really liked it, feel free to also share it with your friends, especially of course if they're interested in Heroes of the Storm esports. And if you like the video, then also hit that thumbs up button on YouTube. And if you want to support the channel and myself, then you can subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. Thanks again for watching today. I really hope that you enjoyed the show. It was a pleasure casting for you. And I hope to see you guys next time with more Heroes of the Storm here on Khaldor TV.